What if I told you that no matter what you do, someone will always have something negative to say? There was once a small village surrounded by green hills and dusty roads. In that village lived two close friends named Elias and Samuel. They had been friends since childhood. They worked together, laughed together, and whenever life became difficult, they helped each other. One morning, after months of saving their money, the two friends finally bought something they had wanted for a long time: a strong, healthy donkey. They were both extremely happy. Samuel held the rope and smiled. "We finally have our own donkey," he said. "Now carrying things home will be much easier." Elias laughed. "You're right. No more carrying heavy bags on our backs." The two friends started walking toward their village. The donkey followed quietly behind them. Everything seemed perfect. But after walking for a while, Elias stopped. He looked at the donkey and said, "Wait a minute, should we really ride it?" Samuel looked confused. "Why not?" "Because we both know how much work this animal has already done. If both of us sit on its back, we might make it suffer." Samuel thought about it. "You're right." So they decided to walk beside the donkey instead. They continued down the dusty road while the donkey walked peacefully behind them. A few minutes later, they passed a group of men standing beside the road. One of the men looked at the two friends. Then he started laughing. "Look at those two fools!" Elias and Samuel stopped. The man pointed at the donkey. "They actually bought a donkey, but they are walking on their own feet." The others laughed. "If I had a donkey," another man said, "I would certainly be riding it." The two friends looked at each other. They suddenly felt embarrassed. Samuel whispered, "Maybe they're right." Elias nodded. "Maybe we're being foolish." So they changed their minds. Samuel climbed onto the donkey and Elias walked beside him. They continued toward home, but they had barely gone a few hundred meters when they met another group of people. This time the reaction was completely different. A woman looked at them and frowned. "Look at that," she pointed at the donkey. "How cruel can these men be?" Another person said, "There are two of them, and they are forcing the poor animal to carry them both." The two friends were shocked. They looked at each other. Samuel quickly climbed down. "You know what?" he said. "Maybe we should both get off." Elias nodded, but then another idea came to him. "Wait, what if only one of us rides?" "That sounds fair," Samuel replied. So they decided that Elias would ride while Samuel walked beside him. For a while, everything seemed fine. Elias sat quietly on the donkey. Samuel walked next to him, holding the rope. But once again, they heard someone calling from behind. "Hey!" They turned around. An old man was staring at them. He looked angry. "What kind of friend are you?" the old man asked Elias. Elias was confused. "What do you mean?" The old man pointed toward Samuel. "Your friend is walking in the hot sun while you comfortably ride the donkey." Elias immediately climbed down. "I wasn't trying to be selfish," he said. The old man shook his head. "You should have thought about your friend." Then he walked away. The two friends stood silently in the middle of the road. For several seconds, neither of them said a word. Finally, Samuel broke the silence. "I don't understand anymore." Elias sighed. "Neither do I." Samuel looked at the donkey. "When we walked, people called us fools." Elias nodded. "When we both rode, they called us cruel." Samuel continued, "When you rode alone, they called you selfish." Elias looked at him. "And if you rode alone, I'm sure someone else would find another reason to criticize us." The two friends sat down beside the road. They were tired, not because of the long walk. They were tired because they had spent the entire journey trying to make strangers happy. After a few moments, Samuel laughed. Elias looked at him. "What's so funny?" Samuel pointed at the donkey. "I think the donkey is the only one here who hasn't complained about what we're doing." Elias started laughing too. For the first time that day, they laughed without caring about anyone else. But then something unexpected happened. An old traveler who had been sitting beneath a nearby tree slowly stood up. He had watched everything. He walked toward the two friends. "May I tell you something?" he asked. The friends nodded. The old traveler looked at them and said, "You have been listening to everyone except yourselves." Elias frowned. "What do you mean?" The traveler pointed down the road. "First you walked because you were afraid of hurting the donkey. You were criticized. Then you both rode because you were afraid of looking foolish. You were criticized again. Then one of you rode while the other walked. And once again, someone found something wrong." The traveler smiled gently. "Do you see the lesson?" The two friends remained silent. The traveler continued, "No matter what you do, there will always be someone who disagrees. If you work hard, someone may say you're obsessed. If you rest, someone may say you're lazy. If you succeed, someone may say you were lucky. If you fail, someone may say they knew you would fail. If you choose a different path, someone may call you strange. And if you follow everyone else, someone may ask why you have no courage to be different." Elias looked down. "So what are we supposed to do?" The old traveler smiled. "Listen to advice when it comes from wisdom. Accept criticism when it helps you grow. But never allow the opinions of strangers to control your entire life." He paused, "Because people will only see a small part of your journey. They don't know your struggles. They don't know your dreams. They don't know how hard you worked to get where you are. And they certainly won't live with the consequences of your decisions." The words stayed in the minds of the two friends. For the first time, they understood what had really happened that day. The problem was never the donkey. The problem was that they had given too much power to the voices around them. They had allowed every stranger to become the decision-maker of their lives. Elias stood up. He picked up the rope. "Come on, Samuel." Samuel looked at him. "What are we going to do now?" Elias smiled. "Whatever we believe is right." Samuel laughed. "And what will people say?" Elias looked down the road. "They'll say something anyway." The two friends laughed again. Then they continued their journey home. Sometimes they walked, sometimes one of them rode, and sometimes they simply stopped to rest. They didn't spend the rest of the journey trying to impress everyone. They simply made the decisions that felt right for them. And that simple journey taught them a lesson they would remember for the rest of their lives. You cannot control what people say about you. You cannot control their opinions. You cannot control their judgments. But you can control how much power you give those opinions. There will always be someone who doesn't understand your choices, someone who thinks you're moving too slowly, someone who thinks you're moving too fast, someone who thinks you're doing too much, and someone who thinks you're not doing enough. If you try to satisfy all of them, you will spend your entire life changing direction. And one day you may look back and realize that you were so busy trying to live the life other people approved of that you forgot to live your own. So listen, learn, think, take good advice. But when the time comes to make your decision, remember this: the people watching your journey don't have to live your life. You do. And sometimes the wisest thing you can do is to stop asking, "What will people say?" and start asking, "What do I believe is right?" Because at the end of your journey, it won't be the voices of strangers that matter most. It will be whether you had the courage to live your life as yourself. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.